Hello guys, in this tutorial we'll be creating a new Visual Studio project and then we'll look into some basic C++ tasks such as writing to the console and reading from the console. Okay, so people who have experience with Visual Studio and with C or C++, they can simply skip this tutorial and move on to the next one. And the rest of you can create a new project with me. So you can either click over here, the new project, or click on File, New Project, or simply press Ctrl Shift N to create a new project. Now wait for the dialog box to appear, and when it does appear, choose Visual C++ from this toolbar and then select Win32 console application. Once you've done that, name it anything you want to. I'll be naming it Oops C++ tutorial. Tutorial. All right. Now press next, and we don't want a pre-compiled header and we want an empty project so that Visual Studio doesn't add anything by itself to the project. Then click finish. Since this is the first time that I'm using Visual Studio on this computer, it might take a little longer than normal to create a new project. Otherwise, Visual Studio is extremely fast. Alright, now our project has been created. Now right click over here on the source files and add a new item. Now, you can name it whatever you want to. I'll be naming it tutorial1.cpp. CPP is the extension for C++ files. Okay, now as you can see, the tutorial1.cpp has been added to our project and it is open over here. Now, for the basic C++ program structure. Okay, the first thing that happens inside our program is the inclusion of libraries. Now we use the hash include command to include libraries, and we will include IO stream. This is the input output stream used for writing to the console or reading from the console. It has many other features as well. And our main function is the first function which is called inside the execution of our program. Now let's see our writing to the console. Let's just try and write hello world to our console window. Now to do that, I'll be using the namespace std cout. Cout is the command's name which is used to write to the console. And then we use this to separate cout from what we'll be writing to our screen. Okay, now let's write hello world. Now we want to move on to the next line. We have two options to do that. Either we can use the escape sequence, which is \n, or wait, let me just zoom in a little. I think I have really zoomed out and it won't be really visible in the video. Okay, now instead of \n, you can also write end line, end l, which would end the line. And this also belongs to the namespace std, so we have to add this as well. Now let's run this and see what our output is. Now this might take a little time because this is the first time I'm building the project. And hello world, this seems good. Now as you can see, we have to write std again and again and again. So to avoid that, we could simply use the namespace std and remove this from over here. Now this is the same as adding std over here every time. Now if we run this again, our output should be the same as before, and this is correct. Alright, now let me give two line spaces, cout and l and l, two line spaces. And then let's output uh, adding adding two numbers to our screen. Okay, now sorry. Now once we've done that, we'll attempt to add two numbers. Okay, so the two numbers that we'll be adding would be taken from the user. Now let's declare two variables, int x and int y. This is how we declare integers in C or C++. Okay, so now let's take the input from user and store it in x. Now cn x. As you can see, for output we used this symbol, and for input we used this, and we write cn. Now this would ask for the user for input and then store it in x. Now similarly, we would need to do the same thing for y, and then we need to output the result to the user. Now for output, as you can remember, cout was used, and you can say result is equal to, and then add your arithmetic over here. You can print integers like this. Now simply writing x would have printed x plus y would print our result, and then we can end our line. Now running this would sum these two numbers. Let's compile it. Sorry, think I forgot to tell you how to compile the project. Now, sorry, I forgot to place a semicolon over here as well. Now you can either click over here and select start without debugging or start debugging, or press Ctrl F5 and then press yes. Okay, now when the project runs, enter your first number, then your second number, and your result is output. Okay, so once we get these basics out of the way, then we'll move on towards object-oriented programming, which is our basic goal. Now, that's it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching.